Okay, well, they lost 3-0 today. The man who scored 2 of those goals for Arsenal is alongside Alex Aljo. She's on translation duty for us with Martin Zubimendi.
Martin, enhorabuena, gran victoria. Enhorabuena por tus 2 golazos. What a win. Congratulations, your 2 brilliant goals. Empezamos con el primer goal. We'll start with the first goal. Cuéntame cómo ha sido desde tu punto de vista. Talk me through that one.
Pues la verdad que estaba más mentalizado en la posible defensa, en el posible contraataque de ellos, pero bueno, he visto el balón que caía y bueno, pues suerte he podido empararla bien y que fuera portería.
He said, I was actually more focused on thinking about defending because they were on the counter, but then, well, the ball landed at my feet. I took the shot and it went in. Well, what a goal that was. Y el segundo, vaya cabezazo, what a header that was. Y gran pase de Leo Trossard también. What a ball from Leo.
Sí, la verdad que medio gol de Trossard y bueno, estaba por allí y bueno, la verdad que meter un gol de cabeza aquí en la Premier es difícil y contento por conseguirlo.
He said, yeah, it was a brilliant ball from Trossard. It's not easy scoring a goal in the Premier League, but yeah, it was a brilliant header. Y marcaste 2 goles en toda la temporada pasada con la Real Sociedad. You scored 2 goals all season, last season with Real Sociedad, y 2 hoy en un partido, 2 today in one game. Ni tan mal tu comienzo aquí. Not a bad start.
Sí, la verdad que es algo que tenía en mente, en el mejorar en el aspecto goleador y bueno, la verdad que estoy empezando bien con estos 2 goles.
He said it's something that I've been working on, really working hard to try and score more goals, which is why I'm so happy with my 2 goals today. Y la última vez que saliste en un 11 inicial con Marino y con Martin fue en 2020, ¿no? 2020, sí, con Real Sociedad. The last time you started alongside Marino and Odegaard was 2020 with Real Sociedad. Pero te ayuda esa familiaridad? Does this familiarity help you con tu adaptación with your adapting?
Sí, con Merino seguro, porque llevo ya 7 años jugando con él aquí en el equipo y en la selección, pero bueno, una pena hoy lo de Martin que no hayamos podido jugar un poquito más de tiempo todos juntos.
Yeah, he said especially with Marino because I played much longer with him at Real Sociedad and more time with the Spanish national team as well. Less time with Martin, unfortunately, but now hay que seguir con la buena racha, ¿no? You have to continue with this good momentum.
Sí, está claro. Veníamos de una derrota que nos dolió mucho. Así que era importante hoy empezar una nueva racha y así puede durar mucho.
Yeah, he said it was really important because we came into this game after a really disappointing defeat against Liverpool and now we just have to keep going and win more football matches. Bueno, enhorabuena. Última cosa, the last thing, almost forgot there. You are the jugador del partido, man of the match, player of the match. Enhorabuena. ¿Dónde lo vas a guardar? Where are you going to keep it?
Bueno, pues todavía tengo una casa nueva, así que me falta decoración y es buena decoración para empezar.
He says he has a new house and there's not a lot in it. It's pretty empty, so the perfect thing to decorate it with. Bueno, enhorabuena. Thank you. Gracias. Perfecto. Enhorabuena.
A player of the match performance today and 2 goals from Martin Zubimendi. He really is outstanding, isn't he, Ray? And you can feel free to answer in Spanish.
I'd love to. I can't speak English. No, he's been a brilliant player. Obviously, knew quite a few of the lads before he turned up, and big money move, £60 million, and to fill Thomas Partey's role, you don't expect him to score many goals. He looks shocked himself that he scored 2 goals, and Alan's obviously sitting next to Alan, a goal machine. Us midfielders were, if we can chip him with a couple here and there, it's always great. But really pleased to see him smiling and enjoying it. And he's got now something to put in his house, which is great.
I'm not sure what's more impressive. The 2 goals of Alex is the way she's translated. Can we get her up to Newcastle so she can do an interview in Geordie?
Player of the match trophy for Alex Aljo as well. Well, we've had
an easy victory. It's what they want when you want to be champions. The club invested big in the summer, and you're seeing the benefits. You saw the benefits today. A whole new front 3. 1 player gets an assist in Eza, a goal-scoring Gyökeres and an excellent Noni Madueke. So that must please the manager immensely. Bonus goals from your holding midfield player. Only negative, of course, is Odegaard's injury, but the squad, the subs come in, strong subs. Well done.
Was Madueke your man of the match?
For me, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, talk about a player that asks questions every time he gets the ball, and that's what you want of wingers. Modern-day football, where teams sit behind the ball, the space, the opportunities come in wide areas. I mean, just seeing the 2 new wide players for Arsenal that have the ability to beat their fullbacks, and that creates goals.
Tim, we were talking about it during the second half about Noni Madueke. He didn't always make the starting lineup at Chelsea, so it wasn't technically good enough for Chelsea, but it's good enough for Arsenal. It's a snip, isn't it, buying Madueke from Chelsea for that price?
And I said to you, it's a miss. Chelsea have missed that one. And that's going to happen. They buy so many talented young players. From a recruitment standpoint, maybe they don't get enough time. By the way, you said the way he played for England today, he's a special player. Never should have been let go by Chelsea. But they got that one wrong. They have to admit that. But Arsenal, on the other hand, have done really good business. Because I think, to your point, what Arsenal need to get away from is this, oh gosh, Odegaard goes down, our season's gone. The other top teams don't do that. So Odegaard's going to be a miss. Sure, no problem. Out you go. We've got a nice rotation in the midfield. We have players that can come in, that can contribute. Saka, we know he's probably the best player on the team, but guess what? If he's out, no problem. Madueke can come in and be a star. So this Arsenal team is also starting to reinvent themselves a little bit.
Also, the second goal today. Arsenal, so many times last year, Rebecca, went one goal up and gave away those leads. Gyökeres knocks it in 2-0. That's what he's there for, to put games away. It's a brilliant ball in from Eze, by the way, from the left-hand side. But just that second goal relieves all the pressure and Arsenal cruise to a comfortable victory.
Ange Postecoglou had only had 2 training sessions before the match today, 5 days in the job. But did you expect a little bit more?
No, I didn't, because he'd have to have changed 1 or 2 things. Like, he couldn't just take that team and go, I like what Nuno was doing. You guys keep going. But he would have to try and get some ideas across. Not many of them, and you can just kind of see that was a team out there today, which is Arsenal's a hard place to play. They were just probably overthinking, what does a manager want from me? How do we want to play? Meanwhile, they're up against it, and it's a difficult one. That will get better. That team, we know Ange Postecoglou can make his team look exactly how he wants it to look, and he will.
I just think with or without a manager, that's poor from Forest. With the previous, whoever's managing that group, that's not good enough. Yeah. I know, I agree, it's difficult for a manager to get his ideas over so quickly, but even so, it's got to be better than that. Yeah. You've got a new manager. You've got to run around a little bit more.
Scoring charts now is Victor Gyökeres on 3 goals so far this season. What did you make of his goal and the timing of it, as we mentioned?
I think that's what he needs and what he wants. And I think to get the best out of him, he's going to need early balls into the box. I highlighted at half-time about when you have too many touches, perhaps. This is a great example of not doing that, of long ball over the top, 1 touch across from Eze. It's a great ball. It's screaming to say, just go on, get on the end of it, tap it in. And that's exactly what he did. It's, as I said, a wonderful ball over the top. But the hardest part is, again, for the winger to put that on a plate for Gyökeres. First-time ball, early ball. Thank you very much. That's exactly what he demands. And he will, if Arsenal continue to do that, it still didn't get the balance, as I said, at half-time in the first half. But I thought it was a little bit better in the second half when Calafiori as well whipped 1 or 2 early balls in, which perhaps because of the lack of understanding between teammates, but he'll get a shed load of goals if they keep on getting balls into the box early.
And is that exactly what Arsenal were missing, especially last season?
Yeah, absolutely. Number 9. I mean, lots of people had their go up there. Havertz, at times, Marino went up there. Trossard as a false number 9 as well. So I think it wasn't rocket science that he needed a number 9. It's whether they could have get one. And they've got one now, and hopefully he can stay fit. He needs that service. And as I said before, them quick balls in, he makes the runs, as a good striker does. And he can put them in the back of the net. So a really good afternoon for Arsenal. Mikel Arteta, I'm sure, will be delighted with the performance, because Forest, again, a decent side. And to get the win in the early kick-off is always a bonus for everybody, and they can sit back now and watch the other games.
It feels like, Alan, they just turned the screw a little bit in the second half. And as I mentioned, the timing, 46 seconds after the break.
Yeah, that's exactly why. It was always going to be key to who got that next goal. And if Arsenal did as they did, we always felt that it was going to be not an easy afternoon, but they could take the foot off the gas, enjoy it a little bit more, pressure off. And that's exactly what happened. If Forest had got that goal, it might have been slightly different. But Forest didn't really threaten too much in the afternoon. And I don't think anyone watching that match can say anything other than Arsenal played well and Arsenal deserved the 3 points.
Well, Victor Gyökeres had the fewest touches of any Arsenal player in the first half. In the second half, he took 46 seconds to score and could have had a second.
Yeah, he could have done. And, he's getting in different areas. Here he is now, picking it up. He's running at players, good pass out there. And this is good, overlapping. This is what you should do. If that's on target, it's a goal. Simple as that, because of the pace of the ball. Woodwork, saved Forest there. That's what you want, you get a little bit of confidence, moving the ball quickly. And I'm sure if he can keep getting into positions, he will score goals all season.
We saw his interaction there with Madueke, who I think we've all agreed was
very
brilliant today.
Absolutely. I thought he was really excellent. Always running at players. He's come off that England trip.
Yeah.
A little bit of confidence as well. He's got that opportunity now because Saka's been injured, and now it's all about him, what he does now on the pitch, just stay in that team. And he certainly didn't let anybody down today. Zubimendi probably will get man of the match, but he was a close second.
Yeah, you've got Saka, Eze,
Martinelli,
Wanyeri.
Yeah.
Madueke. The options that Arsenal have got now in terms of all over the park, actually, and they're going to need them. It's at different stages of the season, but really positive from all the players today.
Yeah, some outstanding performances, none more so than Martin Zubimendi.
Yeah.
I mean, we mentioned that it was his first ever goal from outside of the box and a first time he scored 2 goals in a single league game. What a day for him. What a way to start the scoring.
Well, if it's the first one outside of the box, you would say, why and how is it when he can hit them like that? Because that is it's a dream strike. It's the perfect strike. Not easy at all to get the connection, get the power, get the direction, all of those things. And you might be seeing him shooting a few more times come the season if he can hit them like that, particularly on the volley.
Yeah, Shearer said he's not seen him do that in training. Well, no one's seen him do it because it's the first time he scored from outside of the box. And quite difficult, as Alan said, not just the technique, but because the box was so full, so many bodies in there.
Yeah. Well, all you got to do is get the technique right. That's the most important thing. And, you've got bodies in front of you. He could have easily hit a body and got wide. But lucky enough, he had the pace on it and he had that little gap to get in the back of the net. And he'd be over the moon with that because, when you look back at that, he'd be, that is a top-class strike from a midfielder who really is known to be breaking the ball up and, being efficient in that midfield. But if he pops up with 2 goals as well, it's an absolute big bonus for Mikel Arteta.
Yeah, you did focus a little bit on him in the build-up, telling us kind of how he breaks up the play, what he brings to the midfield. You didn't tell us he had that in his locker.
No, not at all. I mean, it's a little bit like Declan when he scored 2 goals against Real Madrid from free kicks.
Yeah.
So, he's done exactly the same today. And it's just a bonus sometimes when you can get on the score sheet. And being in midfield, you just got to, know your players who's around you. If you get a chance to get forward, then you do it and people fill in for you, simple as that. So after scoring those 2 goals, he might be saying, I want to get forward a little bit more.
The second goal was quite different, Alan.
Yeah, it was very different. I mean, I just wonder whether this ball was for Declan Rice to hit first time. But because of the pace on it, he sort of has to adjust himself and take a touch. But at the end, they work it very well. Just there, that's why it may be him going to shoot, because you can see the 2 Arsenal players blocking the Forest defenders to get to him. But he has the pace of mind, I think, to take the touch and then knock it out wide to Trossard. He then takes a touch and whips a great ball in. But the leap, I mean, we've spoke about the great technique of his volley, but the leap there and the timing is also very, very difficult. And I know it takes a little deflection, which might help it on its way. But for him to get in there and get the timing and everything right to do that was really impressive. And there's no doubt he'll be player of the match today.
Mikel Arteta said the additions of Victor Gyökeres, Noni Madueke and Eberechi Eze have added a different dimension to Arsenal's attack after all 3 players combined to help the Gunners to a comfortable 3-0 win over Nottingham Forest. Eze, on his full debut, set up Gyökeres for Arsenal's second goal just after half-time, while Madueke's corner was headed clear to Martin Zubimendi, who broke the deadlock with a superb volley from the edge of the box in the 32nd minute. It was a dominant display from Arsenal, and Arteta said he was impressed with how quickly his side's new look attack set about putting Forest's backline under pressure. The new 1 signings that started, 5 of them today, I'm really impressed with them. I think you can sense and feel that there are new relationships flourishing there that are going to give us different things. To become more unpredictable, Arteta said. Noni, I think he was exceptional as well. So we play a front 3 that we've never played before. Good exposure of them, in terms of the timings as well, exactly what they needed because they played a lot of minutes. And overall very happy. Madueke, in particular, impressed in place of the injured Bukayo Saka, and Arteta said he is convinced the 23-year-old will prove a success at Arsenal. Yeah, a lot of courage, that's how I describe it. Obviously, a lot of quality, but a lot of courage, said the Spaniard of Madueke, whose 52 million move from Chelsea drew criticism from some fans. We were about to sign him, and there was that reaction around him. I spoke to him, and he was like, I can't wait to put that shirt on and play for you guys. I said, well, let's bring him. If I was convinced before, I'm more convinced now that he's going to do it. And yeah, I think he has such a power, such a capacity to repeat efforts. Because to be able to do that physically, you have to have a different specimen, I think. And he's certainly that. But he's very skillful, very unpredictable, so willing to learn. And he brings joy. I look at him, and he's always smiling, he's always trying things. He gets one wrong, he goes again. And that's what I love about the creative players, because you need that to be successful. Without Saka or centre-back William Saliba against Forest, Arsenal showed their strength in depth with a routine victory in which they hardly got out of second gear. Arteta said he is very happy with the options at his disposal, but admitted the challenge now is to keep everyone satisfied, with more competition in the squad.